Hey, this project that I have completed was basically a power supply that can supply 12 volt, 5 volt, and 3.3 at a decent amperage. And also, it's got a lot of protection in there. There's protection fuses. And there's actually virtually very little work that you have to do to actually make it. Simplistic is my key on this, because at the end of the day, you don't really want anything fancy. You just want it to be safe and working properly. Let's get into it, and I'll show you what I've done. So this is an ATX power supply. It's just a generic one. The more sort of the higher wattage, the more amps you get out of your power out of your 12 volt, 5 volt, and 3.3 volt feeds. What I've done here is basically I encased it into just a $2 sort of box, just mainly for safety and to make it easy. I just bought some speaker speaker connectors, and which gives me the ability to sort of take them out and replace them with different types of cables or different connectors as I go. As you can see, the actual power supply has not really been altered whatsoever. The only reason why that's plastic is because I had to fix something was broken in that power supply. It's just from an old one. But as you can see, there's an AliExpress and quite a few different places. They do this little circuit board which basically plugs straight into an ATX power supply, and it gives you plus or minus 12, 5, 3.3 volts. As you can see it there, it's got a little light, it's got fuses, so if you do potentially do something silly and you can't actually, it's very hard to actually, you won't blow the power supply up or hurt yourself because the fuse will blow. With this one I actually put an external switch, and the way I got that work was basically I found that this connection, it's the fourth one along, it's usually green, that is actually just it controls the actual on and off of the power supply. So if you turn it on, it will actually turn on the power supply. So if I just plug this in and switch that on, as you can see, it turns the power supply on and there's voltage going to the machine. And the good thing about it is you can pretty much, you're not destroyed a power supply, so down the track if you need the power supply again, all you have to do is just unplug this, cut the cable for the additional, because as you can see I've just added to it, and you can use the power supply again, but not for me for this particular project. One of the things that I have come across was I work with a lot of breadboards, and one of the things I find is trying to put a power connector in and actually stay there. So what I actually did is I used I use these sort of with the particular crimp, and what I actually did is put a steel post from the circuit board, which is very cheap, and put that at the end of it and crimped it, so it made a nice connection there, and it also makes it all secure, so there's no cables, there's no wires hanging out of it and all that. And what I actually ended up doing was just put a bit of heat shrink wrap right down the bottom, so there's no chance of it shorting out anywhere. And as you can see, I've just done it for two of them, as most of the time I only sort of need two different power sources. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that helps. Like I say, very, very cheap project. I think this cost me $2, I think it was, from AliExpress or Amazon, I'm not too sure. I think they both sell it. And yeah, hopefully that helps.